Today we're diving into 5 game-changing bills that'll shake up the lives of all federal employees, plus a proposal to protect federal judges from increased threats. From federal benefits to protecting judges from attacks. How will this impact you? Let's get into it. Right now, the federal government has around 2 million employees, which is less than 1% of the entire US population, despite the small percentage it's getting an outsized amount of attention from politicians, from the media, from pretty much everywhere. It's making headlines and it's under a lot of pressure. It wouldn't be surprising by the end of this year, we're well below that 2 million figure. Currently, Congress is buzzing with bills that could change how federal workers are hired, fired, and supported. Let's break down the 5 key bills for federal employees, starting with bill number 1. Honoring Civil Servants Killed in the Line of Duty Act. This is a bipartisan bill that supports families when the unthinkable happens, when your loved one passes away. Right now, if you're a federal employee, there's a death benefit. It's $10,000. Doesn't matter if you're a park ranger, a postal worker, it's a $10,000 payout. What is that going to buy? Maybe it'll cover rent for 2 or 3 months. The average funeral right now costs about $10,000. When this amount was initially pushed through, the $10,000, it was 30 years ago. It was 1996. You know what inflation has done since then? It's not the same amount of money. This bill wants to bump that benefit up to $100,000. This would be the same amount that the military gets. So if you're in the active duty military right now, something were to happen to you, aside from your insurance, there's a $100,000 death benefit that your family, your loved ones, they would get. Now, credit to the Congress members on this bill because they're doing something they don't normally do. They're indexing this amount to inflation, COLA, cost of living allowance. This is what should have been done when you're looking at VSIP, voluntary separation incentive pay. They should have indexed it. It's at $25,000. It's been $25,000 for a few decades now. So what ends up happening to a lot of federal benefits, they never index it to inflation, and you have a benefit that every year that passes by, it becomes less and less valuable. There's a catch though. This isn't the first time this bill has been introduced. It's been introduced multiple times and it never passes. It has bipartisan support, but that's not enough. It has to get through the House and the Senate and through the whole process of Congress. Will that happen? Well, let me ask you, do you think that any benefit towards a federal worker will get passed under this Congress? Or maybe even under this administration? The energy doesn't feel like it. It doesn't seem that way. Okay, next is bill number 2, expanding care for injured federal workers. This is all about getting injured federal workers back on their feet, literally. Right now, when you're dealing with workers' compensation, federal workers can only see a doctor for their ailment. So let's say someone from the TSA, they pull a muscle or they tweak their hip or whatever the case may be, they're only allowed to see a doctor. This bill would expand it to a physician assistant, to a nurse. These are licensed medical professionals, and they can provide relief. They can provide the necessary treatment, but we have people confined to just a doctor. That makes wait times so much longer. When I was in the Army, it was rare that I would actually see a licensed doctor when I was deployed. No way. At the best case scenario, physician assistant. Sometimes it was just a combat medic. But these individuals were lifesavers for our unit. This bipartisan bill wants to change that by updating the Federal Employees Compensation Act, or FECA. So it would let other medical professionals actually treat federal workers. This seems like a no-brainer. You know, in 2022, a similar bill passed the House, but it got stuck in the Senate. Many people think that this change would make the federal workforce, would make the government more efficient. And isn't that the campaign for 2025? Are we not supposedly, allegedly focused on efficiency? And this could save a lot of money. Okay, next is bill number 3, Law Enforcement Officers Equity Act. This act is a bipartisan effort, a push to give federal officers special retirement benefits. So right now, if you're a law enforcement officer at the DOD, FBI, VA, you might not be entitled to the same retirement benefits other people get. We're talking about retiring at age 50 with 20 years of service, or any age with 25 years of service. This bill wants to expand the definition of a federal officer so more people can take advantage of these benefits. But keep in mind, as I'm recording this today, we have a bill over at the Senate that's proposing to eliminate the FERS supplement. unless you fall under a category of mandatory retirement. And what we're talking about here, that would not meet the category of mandatory retirement. It would be a voluntary retirement. A lot of people are not going to be able to make that happen because that bridge of income wouldn't be available to them. Now, bills like this have also gotten support from Republicans and Democrats in the past, and they've gone nowhere. Next, we have bill number 4, the PrEP Act. This one's a little bit more controversial. You only have Democrats backing this bill. There's no Republican getting on the bandwagon this time. So for this one, it is specifically to take probationary period and to make it even, to make it level across the entire federal government. Right now, when you're coming into the government, let's say you're coming in this year for whatever reason, you are either under a 1-year probation, you're under a 2-year probation, or if you work at DOD under the Cyber Acceptance Service, you're under a 3-year probation. Why is it the 1, 2, 3? Why can't we just have it 1 or just have it consistent? Show some transparency. So this bill is saying everybody is under 12 months of probation. This gives people more protection because it enables them to have their civil service protections a lot earlier. The issue with probation is it makes you a lot easier to terminate, especially since the president recently even expanded the reasons. So at first it was either because of performance or conduct, and now they added 3 more reasons. It's like efficiency, basically any reason that the agency wants to get rid of you, they can get rid of you. So people, they were nervous before about being on probation, but now they're extra nervous about being on probation. Next is bill number 5, the Rehire Act. This one's a direct response to what's been going on in the federal workforce recently. So there's been a lot of firings, whether it's probationary firings, whether it's RIF notices. There's just been a lot of people that were pushed out. So if you were fired, not by your own choice, so I'm not talking about the VSIP, I'm not talking about the deferred resignation program or early retirement or anything like that. If you were legitimately fired and pushed out of the federal workforce, this bill would give you preference if you decide to come back in the government. It would give you +5. You would get 5 points added to your application if you decided to jump on usajobs.gov and apply again. This is something that was ordinarily only seen in the veteran community. You probably heard of it, +5, +10. So this would give people outside of the military this +5 preference. And a lot of people are saying this bill is really about bringing back the expertise. Representative Bayer says it's about rehiring workers who devoted their careers to serving the American public. But just like the PrEP Act, this one's stuck in committee with no path to get to the Senate. So we're going to have to wait and see how this one goes. Now let's shift gear to surging threats against federal judges. Recently, you had about 50 judges get together. They were all voicing their concerns about security. There's been threats coming through, especially as the president has been very vocal every time a judge overturns his decision or places an injunction towards his order. He gets really upset. He takes to social media. He goes on Truth Social, Twitter, and these other platforms, and he says that the judges are not listening to the American people. So he's placing that additional burden on these judges, and the public's reacting. Right now, federal judges are protected by the U.S. Marshal Service, which is under the Department of Justice. But some judges are worried that Trump could just pull the U.S. Marshals off, especially towards judges that he disagrees with. So what recently occurred, there was a judge that blocked his birthright citizenship order, and because the judge did that, his physical address where he lives at home, he was swatted. And if you're familiar with the term swatted, it essentially means that somebody calls up a fake incident report saying that you're highly dangerous, and it results in a SWAT team in your front yard kicking down your door. That's what we're talking about here. So because members of the public disagreed so much, they actually swatted the judge. Another thing that we have going on across 7 different states is we've had judges being sent pizza, but they didn't order the pizza. So the pizza man's out there in the front yard, knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, has got the hot pie in his hand, and the judge is coming like, I didn't order this pizza. Seems like a prank, right? Seems kind of funny, seems a little crazy. Really, it's a threat campaign. It's showing we know where you live. We could put hands on you if we wanted to. So it's sending that clear message. And right now you have over 200 legal challenges to Trump's actions. So all of this is going to intensify. So it makes sense that people are concerned about getting private security when it comes to these federal judges right here. It's an idea at this point. but it's a sign of how serious things are getting. Now, when it comes to the rifts, as you probably know, it's paused. They stopped the rifts indefinitely. Now, this is going to be challenged. The Trump administration doesn't like this. They've already appealed it to the Supreme Court. What's going to happen is going to be a matter of months, probably. It's not something that's going to happen overnight or from one week to the next. But if you want an update, if you want to know how that's going, I want you to check this video out next. Stay updated by signing up to the free newsletter down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.